The week of the 3rd was a short one due to Labor Day, and the majority of the bar crew took a much-needed break and traveled home for the long weekend. Tuesday morning, they hit the ground running, continuing work at the putting green. While digging the cavity, they came across ceramic drainage tile commonly used in the 1900s, before it was replaced by plastic. The ceramic tile was in pristine condition and came out of the ground like it was installed last week. The cavity floor was finalized by RGD and drainage was installed. Down the hill on 18, trenches, pipe, and gravel were installed, and greens mix followed. The greens complex on number 4 is one step closer to being completed. Capillary concrete was poured, leveled, and left to cure. The following day, sand was hauled in and spread throughout the bunker. Topsoil has been spread around the 3rd green, and sod now rings the green and approach. We took a gamble on the weather and decided to seed the green this past Friday. Unlike many of the other greens on the property, it sits perched up and doesn't take excess runoff from the surrounds. The 14th has been deconstructed and is currently in the rough grading stage. RGD plans to shift the green left and slightly contour the putting surface right to left. The old front tee obscured much of the ground short of the green. The new tee layout will address this issue by shifting the forward tee up and to the left, improving visibility from the middle and back tees. "13 greens have been seeded to date, and many of them are being mowed on a regular basis. The current weather pattern that we've been stuck in has made mowing extremely difficult. Ideally, the young greens will be mowed in the afternoon, once the surface has had adequate time to dry. But honestly, I can't remember a day in the past 2 weeks where that has been the case. Mowing a wet surface allows the sand to stick and build up on the mower. This not only affects the height of cut, but also causes mechanical damage to the young tender plants. Just imagine covering your hand in wet, angular sand. Now rub it all over your face. That wouldn't feel so good, would it? But the greens have to be mowed despite the weather, as it's vital not to allow the turf to get too tall between mowings. We've tried numerous methods to overcome mowing in wet conditions, but the only real solution is to blow the rollers off after every pass. On average, this process takes 3 employees just over an hour a green. Mowing sand, wet or dry, does a real number on the mower as well, but I'll elaborate more on that next week. The creek work between 17 and 18 is progressing slowly, but as you can imagine, the weather has also played a major factor in delaying work on the creek restoration. The restoration goes way beyond what I ever imagined, and it will become an integral part of the landscape once complete. The bridge that once connected 17 has been removed, and work will continue moving downstream one stone at a time. On the evening of Friday the 7th, we scrambled to get the vulnerable greens covered in hopes it would protect the newly seeded surface from being eroded away. The skies opened up, dropping 0.8 of an inch in under an hour.
Very heavy rain, a lot of lightning here, and the storm has gotten a little bit smaller, but there's still a lot of heavy rain in it. Never drive through those flooded roadways. The flash flood warning means that we could be seeing water easily rise through a lot of roadways and creeks. We've been seeing radar indicated rain rates at close to 2.5 inches per hour, so that is very heavy rainfall.
The damage was done, reversing countless hours of work and making the course almost impossible to navigate. Saturday and Sunday didn't help, adding another 2 inches of rain over the course of the weekend. Productivity came to a grinding halt. Even when it wasn't raining, the ground was so saturated and slick it made it nearly impossible to navigate the course. The weather forecast seemed to change every hour with Hurricane Florence approaching the Carolina coast. Heavy rain seemed extremely likely, so efforts were shifted to protecting greens, disturbed ground, and staying in good standing with the county inspectors. Last week ended up not being nearly as bad as predicted, and by Friday, the ground dried up enough to allow some work to progress.